Hello. Sorry I haven't been around for a little while. It's been kind of a wild ride for me lately. I was going to do this in two or three different videos, but then I realized it might be better to do it in just one big one. So this one is going to be about limitations in magic, mindset, and spells. Kind of all go together. Um, so Sorry, checking my notes. So for some reason or another, lately, especially from new witches, I've been getting a lot of questions of, can I do this? Can I do that with magic? And one of the ones that for some reason keeps coming up is gender swapping or gender changing. And it's interesting, actually. There's to listen to some people who swear that it's a thing. Okay, my opinion, no, it's not. That there is limitations in magic. Um, Magic, you know, isn't just gonna fix everything for you. It doesn't work like that. I'm all for having, positive mindset. I'm all for having, belief in the impossible. Um, as the Mad Hatter says, either the Mad Hatter or Alice, one of them say, the only way to do the impossible is to believe that it's possible. Right? So I'm all for that. Like, I'm all for believing in it, that anything is possible. But I'm also a fan of being realistic, right? So no, you can't change your body. No, you can't make yourself a mermaid. No, you can't do things like that. Body mods, not a thing. Um, if you could, do you realize how many like happy transgender people there would be if they could just do a spell or do a ritual or something and magically be the other gender? Like, it's not a thing. Okay, so yeah, no. But in with that, with mindset and stuff like that, I would also like to mention your mindset in anything, not just in magic, not just in the craft, not just in spells, but your mindset has a lot to do with a lot of things. As someone who's a light worker, I am nauseatingly positive. Just always have been. Always able to see good in people, good in things. I've always been able to see the silver lining in everything, which is a huge reason why I don't do drama. It's a huge reason why I don't let pessimists in my life. It's a huge reason why I distance myself from all of that because I can see it and not everybody can. And one of my favorite quotes actually is that whole, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they, you mind? Become action, and watch your action, they become habit. Watch your habit, they become your destiny. I think that's how it goes. It's one of my favorite quotes because and it's one that I live by. And I have always been a positive person, right? So for Christmas one year, we did Secret Santas. We do Secret Santas in my husband's family because there's just so many of us. It's just easier to pick one person, buy for that person, and then that's it. So the person I got was actually, for all intents and purposes, my sister-in-law. And she got me this book and a crystal, but she got me this book. And I haven't actually read the whole thing yet, but I actually can't recommend this enough. I've always been a positive person. I've always been super happy and positive and annoyingly so. And even this made me like really take a hard look at my mindset, even as a positive person. The author is really really funny. I really enjoy her. Because the way she writes is as if she's talking to you as a friend, like just one on one. It's very personal, and it's really funny. She's actually kind of funny in it. But one thing that a couple things I took away from it, and I started doing, is practicing changing our mindset. So, one thing like for me, I used to hate rain. It used to make me very depressed, and I still don't really like it. I like a quick rain. I like a rain when it's been hot for a while. But I live on an island where it rains constantly in the winter. It's all we get. We get a little bit of snow. We get rain, a little bit of snow, rain, and that's our winter. It's awful. Um, so when you get it all day, every day for months and months and months and months, it's It gets annoying. So that was one of the ways that I chose to change my mindset. So it would start raining for the 100th time in a row, 100th day in a row. And, whereas before I'd be like, oh my God, I hate this. Why? I would stop myself and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I don't really like it. But you know what? The plants are going to love it. But think about how refreshing it is after it rains and it feels so nice, right? And so it's just like little things like that and just catching your mindset. And that's one thing that she talks about here, is when you realize that you're doing a negative, stop yourself and force yourself to think of a positive. Every negative thought you have, change it to a positive. Find a way. And I will tell you right now, you're going to hate it. Absolutely going to hate it at first. I'm a positive person and I hated it at first because you're forcing yourself to stop and you're forcing yourself to think about it and you're forcing yourself to put a positive spin on it. I will tell you, it changed my life a lot. I don't know, just good things started happening in general, just general things. As soon as I stopped putting all the negative out, I got less negative in, if that makes sense. And I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in what you put out, you bring back in. I know Wiccans believe in the threefold rule, which is karma. I call it karma on steroids. It's not just what you put out, you bring back in. What you put out, you'll get back 3 times. Not everybody believes in that. I'm not really sure if I do. I do believe in karma, though. So I do believe in what you put out, you're going to get back. Do you mind, silly kitty? So mindset is a lot. And I challenge you guys to do that. I challenge you guys that the next time that you have a negative thought into your mind, I challenge you to turn it around. And this isn't just about magic. This is just good for everyday life. It really is good. It's I just challenge you to try it for a month. Every time that you have a negative, force yourself to stop and find a positive way to, like a way to put a positive spin on it. Excuse your little face. No, that's not for you. Everyone meet Poe. Silly kitty. Yeah, so I don't know. That's just a challenge for you guys to try. Can you get off my laptop, please? Thank you, kitty. Now, this isn't to say you can't have bad days. Everyone's going to have bad days. Everyone's going to have bad weeks. Everyone's going to have the days and the weeks where you're just like, okay, life sucks and I hate this. It's okay to have days. I'm not saying never have a bad day. I'm just saying, just think about that. Think about that in your everyday life. When you're having a crappy day, think about it. Is it just because it's a crappy day, which happens? Or could you possibly change it around yourself? Is there something you could possibly do that will change it for you? And again, you're going to hate it. Anything where you're bettering yourself is not necessarily fun. It's work. It is. But it will make a difference. If you really do it and you stick to it and you do it, consistently, it really does help. And that kind of leads me to spells. So no, with spells, I have a lot to learn still myself. I'm still learning. I have actually only ever done one spell myself. And I wrote it myself. And it was a money spell. And the thing about money spells, I'll say specifically, I feel like a lot of people have the misconception about them, right? So they want to do a money spell, and then assume that they're gonna like win the lottery or something, or the next day they're gonna wake up to thousands of dollars. Okay, this isn't how that works. I mean, if it happens, great, but the expectation shouldn't be the expectation. So I'll give you an example for mine. So I did a money spell. I wrote it myself, and that way I was able to put my own intentions into it, and I was able to be sure that my intentions were pure in it. I was able to write it for my needs, my personal needs, which is going to be different than everyone else's, and I did my own spell, and within, I think it was about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, my husband got a promotion at work, and I became the main server at my job. I was told that I was able to write my own schedule. Whatever shifts I wanted, I was allowed to have. It also ended up getting busier at work, which meant more tips. So was that just all coincidence? Maybe. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that it was my spell that I did. Did it happen overnight? No. Did I win the lottery and have billions of dollars? No. But did I end up having more money at the end of it? I sure did. Because now my husband's making more money. Now I'm getting more hours. Now I'm getting more in tips. So I think you need to have realistic expectations when you're doing spells. And spells don't have to be this big elaborate thing. You don't have to have 400 candles. You don't have to put a pentagram or a pentacle on the ground, and you don't have to have like all of these. You know, it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't really have to have anything. There are different kinds of spells where if you want, you would have to follow a certain thing. Like there are certain exceptions to that. Like if you're doing something very specific, you would want to follow those specifics. But just as a general sense, for something like a money spell, you don't have to do anything big. That's all I did. I think I might have had my green candle going. I actually bought it specifically for money. One of the little local shops where I buy all my stuff from. Let's see how much I burnt it. Like I need a new one. But it's Crystal Journey candles, so it's actually the brand. I don't know if you can see it because of the glare. Yeah, no, it's just a really bad glare. But anyway, it actually says money on it, and it says, may prosperity flow freely through my life, right? So green is for money. I know that. It can be for other things. One is for money. Black is for protection. Blue, well, this blue one is for gratitude. So you can do candle magic for different specific things, sorry. But it doesn't have to be big, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Also, you can write your own spells. I have so many people asking, like, do a spell for me, do a spell for me. And I'm like, okay, I don't do spells for other people. I'll tell you that right now. Because anybody can do spells. Literally anybody can. Anybody can write their own spells. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be personal and from the heart. And your intentions in it. And that's why I don't personally do spells for other people. Why would I do it for you if you are fully capable of doing it yourself? And then you learn. You learn how to do it if you do it yourself. I'll give you suggestions and I will give you my thoughts on it, but I'm not going to do it for you. That's just me. They do also take a lot of energy. Anything really, like spells, tarot readings, they all take your own energy to do them. It's another reason I don't choose to do them for other people, because it takes my own energy. I want to touch a little bit on love spells. I personally don't mess with them. You'll find a lot of people do not, because it messes with the other person's free will. That's a huge deal. Huge deal in the craft. You don't want to mess with other people's free will. Just not a good idea. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Craft. It's one of my absolute favorite witchy movies of all time. Because, for a lot of reasons, but one reason is because of the love spell. If you haven't seen it, spoiler, you should watch it. It's really good. It's like 1990 something. It's pretty old, but it's so good. But she tries to put a love spell on a guy because she really wants him to love her. He becomes obsessed with her. It gets really, really, really bad. Of course, it's a movie. It's a little dramatic because it is for cinema. But the idea is very true. It's a very true, realistic idea that they tend to backfire and they tend to not work out the way that you expect them to. It's just not something you want to mess with. Some people do them. Some people offer them for other people. And you know what? I mean, it's the craft. It's how the craft goes, not mentioning the movie. The thing about the craft is you can do it yourself. You do it your own way. You make your own choices. And you know what? If you want to mess with it, you go right ahead. But I suggest not to. And I won't help anybody do them. Because I just don't want to mess around with free will. Attraction spells? Different. You can do one so somebody will be a little more attracted to you or notice you. And again, that's where writing your own spells comes really in handy, because then you write them. And even if you write them a specific way, your intent will be there. That should also be a warning. So when you're writing your own spells, you can put whatever words you want, but your true intent will be in them. So it's an air of caution. So even if the words sound right, if your intentions aren't pure, well, your spell will know that. And the spell will work with your intentions, not necessarily your words. So that's why I suggest writing your own. I literally only written one of my own. I do tend to find them on just like general spells. I'll find on Facebook, or not Facebook, Google. But if you want something very specific, I highly suggest writing it yourself. Just be sure your intentions are pure and true, because your intentions are what drives your magic. And I think that's all I have to say on that. I hope that was informational. Informational? Is that a word? I just kind of wanted to touch on each of those, because I'm really annoyed with people asking for gender swap spells and to be made a mermaid, and just, no, that doesn't happen. That's not a thing. I actually got kicked out of a group on KK, which I thought was hilarious, because I disagreed with the owner that it's a possibility. All I said was it's not a thing. I don't believe it's a thing, and I'm all for, believing in things, and, and having an open mind, but I'm also not going to lie to people, and I'm also a realistic person, and I'm not going to tell people that that's a thing if I don't believe it's a thing. So we touched on that. We touched on mindset. We touched on spells. Yep, I think that's everything. And now I'm going to go, I think I have 2 more that I'm going to do today. And then I'll be done. Thanks, guys.